What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you, and I wanted to bring you a video about just how the left is destroying this country by making victim groups and fan the flames of division in this country. That they step back, they get people worked up, they step back, and they allow it to happen. They watch what happens. We have truly got to understand that this is by design. It truly is. And again, some of these victim groups, again, they victimize other people. They victimize other groups. But again, we have to feel sorry for them. We have to feel bad for them. But when somebody gets shot, they don't even know what happened. But they go out there, they loot, they riot, they kill, they do whatever they want to do. But again, they burn stuff down. Again, we had to feel bad for them. We have to feel bad for them.
Just look at the black people they are put in charge of our country. We now getting an S-hole country because the blacks are being put in control of it. We're getting riots and are begging for reparations. And
at the end of the day, any amount is too little and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we straight from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected to get reparations as well. To pass down to the...
This is from NBC. On Tuesday morning, charges were dismissed against a Philadelphia police officer, Mark Dial, who shot and killed a 27-year-old black guy on August 14th. Watch this from X. So this black guy was shot by a cop, but the cops were, according to the report, charges were dismissed. And you know what the blacks did? They didn't know the guy. They could care less about the guy and the cop, but they used that as an opportunity to go steal the white man's stuff.
Stories that were circulating today in Philadelphia because the Philadelphia municipal judge, Wendy Pugh, made this ruling today. She dismissed all charges, including a murder count against Philadelphia police officer Mark Dial in connection with the August 14th fatal shooting of Eddie Irizarry. That was a story we brought you, especially the very, very horrific body camera video of that point-blank shooting.
Again, some cop shoots a criminal. And again, they don't know what happened. They have no idea what happened. But they're using that as an excuse to go out and cause mayhem and riot and loot and do whatever the hell they want to do. And again, they are destroying their own places where they live. That's their own stores, their own places. Now they can say it's not owned by us. We don't own them stores. It wouldn't matter if you did own the stores. You would still riot. You would still loot. You would still tear stuff up and burn stuff down. We have truly got to recognize that. There's a story the other day out of Akron, Ohio, of a young white kid, 17 years old, last summer, that played a prank on these three young black men. They were playing basketball. He drove up and he shot at them with this water pellet BB gun, water pellet thing, or water pellet gun, or whatever it was. And initially, they started to run away because they believed they were under attack. But then they quickly realized that this was fake. The gun was fake. It wasn't real. Again, you can tell by looking at the gun that's fake. It's this gray little gun thing with an orange tip or whatever on it. But it's not real. But they realized they were not under attack. They realized there was no threat. And they came back and they beat the guy to death. They beat the guy to death. Blood coming out of his nose, his ears, his mouth. Beat the guy to death. And again, they charged the guys with involuntary manslaughter. Again, these are three guys that knew they were not under threat, they were not under attack, and they were upset, they were mad because of the prank that was played upon them. They were mad, so they beat the guy to death. And anyways, a couple of days ago, they were convicted of assault. Assault. That was it. They'll be out of jail in a couple of years. Tops. We have truly got to understand. Could you imagine if we were three white guys and some 17-year-old black kid played a prank on them and they came up, they grabbed the black kid, they beat him to death? Could you imagine the uproar if those white guys were only charged with involuntary manslaughter, and when they went to court a year later, they were only convicted of assault? Could you imagine the outrage? Could you imagine the anger? Could you imagine the destruction that would happen? We truly have got to recognize what is going on in this country. Again, you've convinced people, the victims, even when they're not victims. I'm going to stick up a video clip from that and show you exactly what I'm talking about.
The description of this toy, and it's targeted for ages 14 and up, is that you take these little beads, you soak them in water. This is my understanding of it. You soak it in water, and then you load this, what they describe as a toy gun, and it shoots these water beads at people or objects or whatever the target is.
Originally charged Deshaun Stafford, his brother Tyler, and their cousin Donovan Jones with murder. But in July, a grand jury indicted them on lesser charges. Liming blames the Summit County Prosecutor's Office for that decision. He doesn't believe all of the facts were presented. Akron police said back in June, race was not a factor in the killing.
Brian Duffy, the jury handed down their decision just about an hour ago.
19's Harry Boomer live at the courthouse now, continuing our coverage. Harry, so walk us through, again, this verdict, a complicated one. Walk us through exactly what the jury decided.
Well, the jury decided that these guys were guilty of some stuff and not guilty of other stuff. The Deshaun Stafford and his brother Tyler found out today what the jury of their peers think about their role in the death of Ethan Lyman. The jury came back with a unanimous decisions after considering charges against the brothers of involuntary manslaughter and assault. Members of Ethan Lyman's family were visibly shaken as Judge Tammy O'Brien read the verdicts. After the court adjourned, I spoke with Deshaun Stafford Sr. He was not completely satisfied with the verdicts.
This is a tragedy thing that happened. I wish it had never happened. Now I have to feel like my son's going to go away from me for a long time for something that it could have been avoided. I'm sorry it happened to the family. You know, I wish the best for us all to get over this and we be able to come to some kind of agreement that we can work this out as far as this. This didn't have to go this far. And I'm pretty hurt myself. I love my kids, and I just didn't want this to happen like this.
This right here is what I'm talking about. Right here. Again, you have three black guys, three young black men who killed, stomped to death a 17-year-old white kid. Stomped him to death. But guess what? They got assault. They got charged, they got convicted of assault. They were initially charged of murder. That was dropped to involuntary manslaughter. And then they were convicted of assault. This black father is so upset. He's so upset because he won't be able to see his son. Well, guess what? Your son killed somebody. And I get the kid was playing a prank on them, but that gives him no right to stomp the guy to death. You know, if you punch a guy, if you smack him around or whatever, again, that's one thing. But you stomped the guy to death. You didn't care. You did not care. And again, this father's upset because his son is going away for a long time. We truly have got to understand what's happening in this country. And right now, the racial division is being fanned in this country. It truly is. You know, again, they believe black people, not all black people, but, you know, a lot of them, especially the ones here that are rioting, looting, and, you know, these young men and whatever, they believe they're victims. They believe they're the victims. And they're not. They're not the victims. They're using anything they can as an excuse to, again, riot, loot, kill, do whatever. I had heard somebody the other day say Black Lives Matter means, you know, blacks love misery or blacks loot and murder. And again, to a degree, it's true. You know, I'm not saying all black people, not at all. But I am saying some. There are quite a number of them out there doing this. And there are quite a number of them that believe that they're oppressed. You know, I think CNN did a poll where 75% or almost 75% of black people believe that they deserve reparations. We truly got to recognize what's happening in this country. It's being torn apart. It is being torn apart. And again, the people that are going to suffer the most are going to be the people that are doing this. The ones that are out there looting and doing whatever they want to do, they're gonna suffer. Because again, we see it now happening. You know, again, Walmarts and Targets and whatever, they're closing. They're closing. And they said they want to have, you know, community funded grocery stores. What do you think is going to happen to those stores? They're gonna loot them. They're gonna steal from them. They're gonna have to shut down. Why? Do you believe that that somehow these private held grocery stores, these community owned grocery stores, are going to somehow do better than Walmart? No, of course not. Again, they're going to loot. They're going to steal. They're going to wipe these stores out. They don't care who owns what. They don't care. But again, you can think whatever you want to think. And again, you're going to. You're going to. And that is what is truly sad. People don't recognize what they got. They don't recognize what they got until it's too late. This country is slipping away. And you can say good all you want to. But again, you're the one that relies on this country, a lot of you folks, to get your welfare checks. We have truly got to be honest about that stuff. But, you know, go ahead, just destroy the country that you live in, your country. Go ahead. Go ahead and tear it down. Go ahead and get all these grocery stores closed. Again, you'll have no place to buy your food. But again, then you'll scream racism again because the stores are closing because they don't like black people. We truly have got to understand what they're doing. Nobody needs to feel sorry for you. It's all your choice. That's your decision. That's the choice. These are the choices that you make. No one needs to feel sorry for you. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a